everybody, this is Saneve, and I'm coming back to you with Somewhere in the Snow, Eyeless Jack X Reader. This is Chapter 8, Mama, the Dog is on the Loose. The glowing red eyes watched as she slept, carefully waiting until the time was right to step from behind his hiding spot. He watched her breathing slow down, breathing out from her nose, her cheek laid flatly onto the side of the couch. A minute passed and no movement came from her. Now was the time he would step out. He reached out from the side of the TV, getting a hold of it, his head coming out, and crept silently out with one of his legs following along. His shoes made a little patter, but it wasn't enough to wake her from her slumber. Maybe he should kill her, he thought. That wasn't the order, though. He was fully out from the TV and stood over the girl, narrowing his eyes. "So you're the girl who gave them all this trouble," he mumbled. His mouth was in a thin line as he continued to stalk over the girl, taking notice about her facial features and her body. He sighed and shook his head. She looked dead. He walked towards the room where those three were held as his feet slightly floated above the cold wooden floor. He was close to his destination before a smile ran towards him, slobbering all over his green blouse. "Get the fuck off me," he whisper-yelled as the dog tried climbing up his silhouette. He grumbled and shook the dog off, swatting away the shedding fur on his clothes, making his way inside the room. The door was wide open, and he just peeked his head out before grinning teasingly and taunting them both. He made a little psst sound and waved his hand around while wiggling his fingertips. "Fuck off, Ben," Jeff's voice burst and echoed inside the room. Jeff didn't care whether or not she heard, mostly because he knew she was probably knocked out cold. Ben widened his eyes as he made his full body clear from the doorframe, and he shushed at them, while pointing at the girl that was sleeping in the living room. Jack just turned and looked at Jeff. They both made eye contact, and Jeff just shrugged before turning back to Ben. Ben turned away from the two and slowly checked on the girl to see if she was still sleeping, and thankfully, she was. He snapped his head back at the two before stepping in and walking towards Jeff to free him out of his shambles. The chain made soft clinging noises as Ben tried looping his fingers out of the knots the chain was tied with. His cold hands and fingers tugging and pulling on the chains. Jeff murmured quietly as he waited for Ben to free his wrist out. Although he was interrupted by the pinching of his skin and hairs as the chain struggled to get loose. "Watch it," Jeff snarled at Ben, which made Ben just stare and scoff at him. Ben tugged on the last knot and pulled his hands away. "There, bitch," he insulted the pale figure before turning to Jack, getting ready to deal with another set of chains, which was nowhere to be found. Ben paused for a second and stared at Jack's arms and legs, trying to process if he was just blind or if Jack wasn't even tied up. "I don't get it." Ben stared blankly at Jack and pointed his finger at Jack's figure. "Why is he, like, not tied up?" Ben questioned. Jeff turned to Ben, then at Jack as he rubbed his wrists. "Don't ask me, he got the fucking special treatment because he was—" Jeff paused and let go of his wrists and held up both of his hands to make quotation marks with his fingers. "Hurt and, oh, miserable," Jeff said as he made his voice more baby or girl-like, mimicking the sleeping woman in the other room. Ben raised his eyebrows before furrowing them. "Could have just made my job easier and just helped Jeff," Ben said as he raised his right hand and scratched his scalp. "Yeah, but Jack can't do shit. Those disfigured-ass creatures messed him up," Jeff shrugged before stuffing his hands in his pockets. "Doesn't make your situation better. You could clearly walk the whole time, dumbass. Not only that, the door was clearly wide open, dumbass," Ben pointed out. "Whoa, hey buddy, and you clearly had never been held up and tied up before. It's not easy. Plus, the food here is good," Jeff defended himself. Ben looked up and down at Jeff and sighed. "Let's go. Also help Jack. I can get up myself." He was interrupted by the voice of Jack. Ben narrowed his eyes at him. What happened to him being all hurt and shit? Ben tilted his head. Meds, duh, what else? Jeff answered before walking up to the door frame and leaning on it, although Ben just stood there dumbfounded. Assholes would have made it out without him going all the way here. Alright, just come on, Ben complained. As he rubbed his nose bridge, Jeff just hummed and walked out as Smile panted and followed along as well as Jack. Ben spat out insults and complaints as he followed along behind him. Kinda surprising she didn't wake up to the noises. A woman stood with a rifle and a shotgun in hand. She wouldn't let go of the weapons. Her hair covered her face, only just a little bit. Only just a little, to remind some of them of what she was before. She felt like she had forgotten something, maybe her humanity. There before her stood a man who felt guilty. You should drop the guns, he spoke. He knew they were important to her. She didn't answer, she just stared like she always did. Well, not before everything that happened. Maybe it was her fate, after all. She had proven she was worthy of being under its shadow. Snapping your eyes open and gasping, you felt like you were dying. You couldn't make a sound from how dry your mouth was. You felt like a fish trying to get more water after it got caught by the fishermen. Your eyes burned and the corner of your eyes felt dry. You brought up your hand, which was trembling for whatever reason, and put it up to your mouth, trying to calm yourself. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? You thought as you panicked. What the hell is happening? You questioned. You knew that sometimes you and other people around the world might wake up having a dry mouth and probably had something that burned their eyes, but was it supposed to be this bad? You felt your throat go for nothing. Maybe spit that formed in your mouth, but that failed. You squinted your eyes as you tried to avoid the TV screen's light and desperately trying to lift yourself. You had a hard time doing so. Your arms and legs felt so shaky to the point you could see dark spots forming in your eyesight. Holding on to anything in your way, trying to get to the closest sink or any source of water. You whimpered under your breath as you finally reached the kitchen sink, after spending your time struggling for it seemed to be hours. You slapped your hand onto the handle of the sink and turned it on. It didn't matter if it was too hot or too cold, you just need some fucking water. You brought your face to the water and took big gulps of it. You could feel your body finally relaxing, your eyes tearing up from the burning sensation. That was going away once you had a lick of water. You gasped as you pulled yourself away from the water. The water was hot as fuck. You licked your lips and blinked, trying to recover faster, swiping at the tears that fell from your eyes. Shit, you said, as you turned the handle to a much colder side before drinking the sink water once again. Your breath getting slower as you held your position and pulled your face away from the sink, taking your arm and wiping the liquid off your face and neck. You closed your mouth to take another moment and breathe from your nose before looking around your surroundings. Why did you feel so unfamiliar? No, confused with your own place. You furrowed your eyes before feeling some water spill into the fabric of your clothes and onto your feet from the mess you made. You just stood there before letting go of the sink and counter. That is, until you took a single step and felt a rush into your head. Ugh, what the fuck? You groaned, before slapping your hands onto your forehead. Alright, you really need some medicine. You keep your hands on your head before walking towards the room Jack and Jeff, maybe Smile, but that depends, we're in. You knew that you had extra painkillers for Jack in there. You might as well take a few for yourself. You rushed in the room and went straight towards the bag that sat on one of the desks, taking a few and grabbing the stash of water bottles that were in the corner. You had them there because you would rather have Jeff and Jack just grab it for themselves rather than yourself. Opening the cap with your teeth and spitting it out to the side, you take the painkillers and shove them into your mouth, as well as taking another chug of water. Pulling the water bottle away from your face, you swallowed the pills, widening your eyes, remembering that they were probably staring at you confusingly and most likely judging you for your outburst. It felt weird, though. You didn't feel their creepy stares boring into your back. You slowly turn your head. Yeah, just shut up. Wait, where the fuck are they? You just stare at nothing, dumbfounded. Guys? You utter out, before making your body turn fully and start looking everywhere for them. You feel your heart jump fast once again as you desperately try to find their figures. This isn't funny. Hello? You call out, hoping one of them would answer. Shit, 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 you repeat in your head. You had looked all around the place, double checking every corner, every time, thinking you had missed a spot. They weren't here. You meet the front door and throw it open just to see nothing. The cold breeze surrounds your body as it flowed into your hair. They were gone. You gulped the lump that formed in your mouth and licked your dry lips before looking down at the snowy ground. What? What? What the fuck? You spoke out to yourself. There wasn't even a hint of their footsteps or any evidence inside or outside that had gotten out. It was just that their presence was gone. You let out a huh? Out of confusion and disbelief. There was no way. Well, what did you expect? This is what you wanted. They were weird and freakish. They weren't normal. You feel yourself wash out all those feelings, except for feeling nothing. You feel excitement and relief. Yes, you let out. The wind feeling stronger and colder by the second. They were finally gone. They were finally gone. You feel the corner of your mouth curving into a slight smile. Fuck yeah, you yelled out, your dogs flinching awake at the sudden burst of your voice. You forget everything that happened, and instead you feel as if you had won the lottery. You might as well throw your fists up and jump all around the place. Maybe even get a taste of freedom and finally save your money without buying groceries every 2 hours. Author's note. Wonder how long that's going to last. Short chapter, thumbs up. Thank you guys for listening. This is a pretty short video. That's okay though. I am soon going to be looking for another fanfiction to read, only to have like a little diversity. I am going to continue reading this one though, so do not worry. We will get to finish this one. But thank you for listening to me. Please do remember I am not a professional, but I love to talk. I absolutely do. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.